Welcome to the Slate Update, an irregular series of videos about this tough little truck. In China, it's the year of the horse, but in America, 2026 will be the year of the Slate. Let's hope so. On the road to mass production later this year, Slate stopped by Jay Leno's garage to see what this notorious gearhead thinks of a hands-on DIY truck for the masses. And guess what? He thinks it's amazing. Jay started off asking the question, will there be four-wheel drive? Answer, you never know. They confirmed that the batteries are liquid-cooled, thank God. The first Nissan Leaf tried to get away with air-cooled to save cost, and they taught the industry a valuable lesson. Worth repeating, Slate is designed to be a 5-star IIHS top safety pick, so the standard safety equipment goes well beyond the minimum regulations in the US. So while it may lack standard power windows, it comes fully loaded with safety features. Slate will, of course, have regenerative braking, but they said you cannot adjust it. I assume that means you cannot turn it off either. I'm okay with that, but while we're on the subject, I would not expect many or any settings beyond what we can see in the physical buttons. The buttons on the steering wheel appear to be only for cruise control, which is standard. If there was a menu of options, it would be in the one display for the cluster. Maybe you can make some adjustments in the mobile app, but the idea of a phone configuring the vehicle settings opens up some serious cybersecurity issues, so I'm going to guess no to that. Parking brake is electric, front open. Traction control, you can turn off for sweet donut making. I like that. And I think this button controls the light brightness of that one display, right? Headlights, wipers, and turn signal is on the left stalk, gear selection on the right stalk. The head of design talked about how they deliberately chose to make the front area where the grille would be removable so you can 3D print or buy a custom piece. Most auto designers would cringe at the idea of removing the brand logo like that. Cool comparison that Jay made was the slate gray standard color to his Mennonite T. It's a Ford Model T in the most basic black color, which he says was acceptable to drive by people of the Mennonite faith because with it being all black and no chrome adornments, it's basic and utilitarian, not blasphemy. Slate is embracing, not hostile to, the right to repair. Slate will not just allow you, but encourage DIY repairs under warranty. They intend to allow customers to perform their own warranty repairs without voiding the coverage. Cool new detail is that the Slate app will provide owners with the diagnostic codes if the light comes on, allowing users to diagnose issues even before contacting the service center. Most vehicles require a special scanner to pull codes through the OBD2 port, unless you're Tesla, which doesn't have an OBD2 port because technically they don't need one because there's no combustion engine with emissions. Other legacy EVs put them in anyway because all the service techs are used to them. They repeated their partnership with Repairability to utilize over 4,000 existing independent service shops across the US. Now, I should point out that there will be different levels of service these independent shops can sign up for. Some will just accessorize, others will do mechanical repairs, and some will choose to be certified for the high voltage work. We don't know how many will opt in for that highest level of service. They describe the Slate board as a structure, a hybrid between a unibody and a body-on-frame structure. The body panels are glass-filled composite, which is fairly common. The original Saturn vehicles used a bolt-on plastic body panels, but they were polymer blend. There was not a glass filling, and thus they flexed, but they also significantly expanded in the heat, so the vehicles required large gaps to allow for the expansion and contraction. Slate panels will be more rigid and tough than that. Interesting is that the prototype, when it drives off, there's no audible noise. For production, they'll be required to have an electric vehicle alert system. That's that hum or spaceship noise required to alert pedestrian of the quiet vehicle coming up behind them. Jay and Jeremy, their chief commercial officer, go for a long ride, scooting around LA and digging the Slate's effort to revitalize American manufacturing. Slate CEO Chris Barman also got out of the office to get interviewed by Inside EVs. She positioned the lack of a big touchscreen as an asset by omitting the fancy infotainment screens, Slate has decoupled the vehicle from the consumer electronics cycle. After all, what looks great today can get woefully outdated and incompatible in just a few years. Not Slate though, just throw in the latest iPad and you're ready for another decade of compatibility. Although some people insist that AM/FM is essential for emergency alerts. Personally, I get those through my cell phone. You can debate this topic all you want. Production is set to begin by the end of this year. Slate shared some videos online of the progress being made at the Warsaw, Indiana plant. The body shop equipment is mostly installed. That's going to be key to make pilot build vehicles using the actual production equipment to weld together the pieces for the Slate boards for final validation. The 78 beta prototypes built thus far were not made using the production body shop equipment. Pictures of two of them outside their headquarters in Michigan were posted online. Slate is focused on the launch of their two-door pickup that can also be made into a 5-passenger sportback or SUV body. But they are thinking about other models down the line. And I wonder if in order to make it all-wheel drive, if we'll have to wait for that next model. We just don't know at this time. And speaking of uncertainty, amidst the massive policy changes in the US auto industry, Chris was asked about the potential for low-priced Chinese EVs coming to America and competing with Slate. She expressed confidence in their value propositions: more affordable than the average used car, highly customizable, do-it-yourself, and that they're revitalizing American manufacturing. In addition to Chinese EVs already in Mexico and coming soon to the Great White North, there are very credible stories about Ford discussing potential joint venture scenarios in the US. It's just talk at this time, but fascinating for sure. And as you're watching this video, I'll be preparing my thoughts on Ford's update on their universal EV platform, also happening in February. There are some other February events posted on the Slate Auto website, and I hope that that brown truck is real and not just AI, because it looks great. And I'm hoping to get my next Slate update out at the beginning of March, talking about their efforts to attract fleet customers in just a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.